Today, I want to talk about cameras, and if I could have only one camera, what would it be? I do a lot of video, and I do a lot of outdoor videos. I do a lot of videos like this. So, like right now, I'm recording this on in Riverside, and I'm just using a webcam. The webcam is just a simple Logitech 4K webcam. Works great if you're, in an office, you're in a quiet place, decent lighting. But what if you're not? What if you're out and about and you want to take videos? So I'm assuming for purposes of this discussion that everyone has a phone. So if you don't have a phone, I would start with, getting a phone that has a camera on it. This is an iPhone 16 Pro, my regular everyday camera. I actually don't shoot a lot of video on it. I actually prefer to take video on other things. And so I have a number of cameras. The ones that I use the most, aside from my phone, is I use Insta360. Now these are essentially the equivalent of a GoPro. I like the Insta360s a little better because they have a few features such as a pop-up screen, which I think is one of the best features about it. So you can actually see yourself when you're recording on it. It's waterproof like a GoPro. It's an action camera. There's different settings. You can, have settings so that if you're going to be out like strapping it on your bike or running or walking, things like that. This is a great camera. I take a lot of video on this camera, and actually I have two of them for taking different shots. This one tends to stay in my car. I have a little mount that sits on the dash, and I use it to record interesting things on the road typically. So this is a great camera, but if I could only have one camera, the one that I would have is this one. What is this one? So this is an Insta360 Go3 S. I've only had this one for maybe 4, 5, 6 months, something like that. And what's great about this is, you'll see this is very similar to this is the Insta360 Ace Pro, I believe is what this one is. So there's a lot of similarities. Has a flip up screen. You can see it's smaller. Unlike the Ace Pro and your GoPros, this actually is not waterproof. I found that out the hard way. I accidentally ran my last one through the washing machine, basically wrecked the outer part. But what's really cool about this is this. Okay, this is the camera that I would not want to be without. It comes in and out of here. This is sort of like a charging pack. Plus, you can set it up and have the adjust the controls with the touch screen in the back. With that, it will mount on this bracket, and then this is a magnetic holder, which I love. So a lot of times, if I just need to bring something along, I'll just grab this. A lot of times, I'll take this to the gym with me because I can mount it on a rig or somewhere like that. It's just so versatile. But it's especially versatile when you remove this camera from the holder, and so and it's magnetic, so you could stick it anywhere that's a metal. But what's really cool about it, and this is how I tend to use it the most, is this. So what is this? This is a magnetic holder, and you wear it around your neck, and you can wear it on the outside. But what I really like to do, especially when I'm traveling, I like to throw it inside here, especially if I have a t-shirt on, and then it just attaches right to that, and then you can record. So if I want to record, so like right now, I'll just push record, and you can set it so that it beeps at you. You can adjust the loudness of the beep. You can have an indicator light on there if you want. I tend to turn that off just if I'm walking around. I don't necessarily like to make it obvious that I'm recording. But and then you can also hold it in the horizontal position if you want. And so this is definitely my favorite camera right here. So now I turned it off. So that's three beeps tells you it's turning off. One beep tells you it's turning on. This will take video in 4K, although I typically just record in 1080p. And so this is the one I take with me. So last week I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and I try to take videos when I'm traveling. And so a lot of times what I'll do, I'll just put this magnet on here, put my camera on here, and then I take shots as I'm going through the airport, getting on the plane, getting off the plane. If you want, you can just stick it up against the window. If you want to catch some video of takeoff and landing, I really like that. But it works really great if you want to walk around and you want to have your hands free and you want to be sort of inconspicuous. Works really nice if you have like a black shirt on because you can't really hardly see the camera on it. And then there's an app that will connect this camera to your phone if you want to instantly grab some of that, post it on social media. I did that a little bit when I was in Charleston. Or you just take it back and you connect this to your computer. There's just a USB-C cord on there. Connect it to your computer and upload the files that way. This makes a great way to either have, to take travel videos or action shots, or to add nice B-roll to your videos, which is kind of how I use it. I do a lot of talking videos, and then I just use this to record some just different angles of B-roll. Few limitations about this. There's no SD card or micro SD card that you can take out. So when this is full, and it'll hold a lot of footage, way more than I do, but you can't just swipe out a card. You have to, transfer the videos off of here. Probably the second one is that this is not waterproof. That would be great if the whole thing was waterproof. This part is waterproof, which is nice. You can take this, you can get this wet, whatever you want to do. But for whatever reason, this is not. And probably the biggest drawback, if you will, to this setup is the battery life isn't very long. Depending on the temperature and how much you're using it, this little thing will hold 20 to 30 minutes worth of video, probably, maybe a little more in ideal conditions, maybe a little less in hot conditions. So you can't record a long period of time with this without sticking it back in here. Now it will recharge pretty quickly. And I would say this thing holds probably 4 to 5 charges, maybe not quite that 4 charges on this before you have to recharge the outer part. So that's probably the biggest limitation is the battery. I'm guessing that will improve. But if I'm going to take a lot of video, I'll use this camera because this has a lot longer battery life, a lot larger. You can put SD cards in this, and then this one actually has replaceable batteries, which is great. So I have extra batteries for this. So for what I do, where I'm not taking a ton of footage, a lot of it will be, what I'm doing right now. I'm just recording into a computer. You don't need to, but it's just so nice to have something like this available to take just some different shots, just to add a little action, a little pizzazz. That is the one camera. If I could only have one besides my phone, it would be this one. And I'll put a link to that below. Actually, I'll put a link to both of these below if you're interested. I really like both these cameras, but if I had to choose only one, it would be this one. So if you have any questions about this, if you're thinking about getting it, let me know. There's lots of tutorials online. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about this, but maybe check it out if you're trying to, find easier ways to record. I don't like to record on my phone. Kind of big and clunky, and I'm usually using my phone for something else. So I like recording on places other than my phone. So hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Otherwise, I appreciate it if you subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you, everyone.